Yo, what is up guys? It's Pedro here, and in today's video I'm making a video on why I think Cole Holcomb will be a star linebacker for Washington in the future for years to come. I'm also going to be talking about things he can do to improve for this year, and I'm going to be showing you guys an interview of him talking about what he's done during this offseason to stay in shape during this pandemic, and talking about what he's been talking with Ron Rivera and Jack Del Rio about, and about him picking their brains. So if you guys are new, subscribe for Redskins and NFL content. So let's get right into the video. So we drafted Cole Holcomb, or Washington drafted Cole Holcomb in the 5th round in the 2019 draft, and not a lot of people thought he would contribute much. There was a couple other linebackers that we wanted to draft earlier. I think Mac Wilson is his name, from Cleveland, and we ended up drafting Cole Holcomb in the 5th round, 173rd overall, and we didn't really have high expectations for him. We ended up cutting Zach Brown and Mason Foster, so he kind of was pushed into a big role early on, and he did not disappoint at all. In his rookie year, if you want to look at his stats, he actually had over 100 tackles, which is the first rookie to do it since Darrell Green, which is very impressive. Had 105 combined tackles, 74 solo tackles, a sack, and 3 forced fumbles. So played really good last year, and was playing for a pretty bad defense in general in a terrible scheme. So for the situation he was in, he played really good. But the thing is that he does need to improve on, which we will talk about, is his coverage. His coverage stats were not the best. If we want to look at those, a deeper dive into that, he allowed an 83.7% completion percentage and an 115.4 pass rating, and allowed 2 touchdowns when he was in coverage. So that was not good at all. But I think that takes time, and especially with a young player and at a position where it does take a little bit of time to develop, especially in coverage, I think he's at least going to get slightly better. Maybe he can push it down to 75% completion percentage, and you guys will see he talks about it a little bit in the interview. But he played really good for a rookie. 16 games, started 15 of them, 1 pass deflection, 3 forced fumbles, 1 sack, and 100 combined tackles. By no means did he play amazing, but he's on track to be a pretty good linebacker for a long time, and I think this 4-3 defense is going to help Cole Holcomb, and I think he might not get the numbers he had last year, just because I don't think he's going to get the same amount of snaps. First, because he might not even start this year. I think he will, but he might not even start. And second, if he does start, there's a lot more depth at the linebacker position this year. But I think either way, what I think even if he gets less total playing time, the quality of playing time that he has in those snaps is going to be better, in my opinion. I think he's going to be slightly better in coverage. And I mean, he was a pretty good tackler in general last year, so I'm not too worried about that. But sometimes he does miss some open field tackles. 10%, that's about average missed tackle percentage. But he was a pretty good tackler last year. He just has to work on his coverage, which is normal for young linebackers. He's still obviously super young. He is 24 years old, and he played at UNC, and I'm very excited to see what he can do, because he has very good potential. And I mean, we already know what our D-line can do. I mean, they have all the talent in the world. I think, especially in this new scheme, I think they can play really well and hold our defense down. We just need our linebackers to play solid, and I think Cole Holcomb and Reuben Foster can do that. We'll see about the other guys, but if Cole Holcomb can become a star, maybe even a Pro Bowler, I really do think our defense can be championship caliber in maybe a couple years. We just got to shore up our secondary. If this year we can possibly, let's say we get the 10th pick overall, 15th pick, we can draft a cornerback or something to shore up that secondary. That's what I think we should do. But our defense is in the right direction. We got a really young team, and Cole Holcomb is one of the young pieces we have, and I think he's going to be a really good linebacker for years to come for us. I hope we can keep him. He still has 3 more years under contract, and I'm expecting a big year from him. I'm not sure on the number of tackles, but I think he might get a couple more sacks. He might blitz a little bit more. Forced fumbles might stay around the same, and maybe he gets a pick or 2. But what I'm looking for most importantly is just hopefully he can improve his coverage a little bit, because that was his weakness last year, and it didn't help when he didn't have much good safety help last year, and even cornerback play behind him. That didn't help, but I think he can improve just himself. But I think with improved safety play, we'll see how Sean Davis and Landon Collins do. I think that'll help him a little bit too. And overall, the defensive scheme, we'll see how he does. And yeah, I just seriously cannot wait. We have so much young talent on this team. It is absolutely insane. So let me know what you guys think about Cole Holcomb. What do you guys have as his stat predictions for this year? I already gave you guys mine. And yeah, let me know what you guys think he needs to improve on, and what your, like I said, stat predictions are for him. So now I'm going to play you guys an interview he did with Julie Donaldson and Washington in general. He talked about what he did during this pandemic to stay in shape, and he also talked about how he's been communicating with Ron Rivera and Jack Del Rio, because they did both play linebacker in the NFL, so he's been talking to them a lot. So I think you guys are really going to enjoy that interview.
And they shut the whole state down. So I panicked. I called Chad, our strength coach, and I was like, I need the Sorinex reps number. So I got on the phone with that guy, Darren. Shout out Darren for Sorinex. I said, hey, what can you send me in like 3 days? I need a list of like everything in your warehouse you can send. And he sent an entire, my family has an entire home gym now. Everybody's getting active in that thing.
All right, so mom and dad have no excuse to get the workouts in now that you're gone.
Oh, yeah.
Did you beef up a lot? I mean, we have some people out there, fans, that are trying to compare pictures from last year's training camp to this year's training camp. Like, are your guns a little bit bigger now?
Yeah, I mean, I had the home gym, so that's all I had to do during when we were quarantining. I was just working out, and then I come in, we have our Zoom meetings, and do a little recovery. But I mean, not really. I mean, I'm about the same weight as I was last year. I think they just caught a really good angle.
Okay, you're being probably a little bit humble coming in here. Like, last season as a rookie, you had over 100 tackles. Only Darrell Green has had that much as a rookie. Do you think about those numbers and kind of the performance and what you were able to do? Because even though you had over 100, I know there were a lot of plays that you still left on the field and could improve upon too.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I'm definitely a person that's like, people will talk about the positives, but for me, I'm like, what can I improve on? So for me, seeing those stats, I was like, man, that could have been a way higher number or something. Like I looked at the plays that I missed. Those are the ones that I sat on and okay, how can I make a better play on that, or a missed opportunity? How can I make that opportunity? So.
Yeah, and I hear guys talking about the meeting rooms. It's very unusual that you have to do all this through Zoom and kind of learn the defense that way. But the feedback that I'm getting is you're a pretty smart guy and you're picking up on this pretty quickly. Like, Ron Rivera played linebacker, Jack Del Rio played linebacker. Do you go in and kind of pick their brains a little bit as you kind of look to advance your career?
Yeah, absolutely. Like I was, my first interaction with Ron, I mean, we sat there and it was only supposed to be, I think, like a 10-minute conversation. We ended up talking like 2.5 hours went by, and I was like, okay, like but it doesn't feel like that. Like when you're talking about something you love to do, it can go by so fast. So it's nice having like that many people, playing your position that are coaching you. So everybody's kind of got their little inputs that they can add to help make you a better player.
So it's also my understanding your dad's a Raiders fan. So he was a big fan of Jack Del Rio. Has he had the opportunity to kind of meet him, talk to him? What was his reaction when he found out he's going to be your coach?
Yeah, I mean, he hasn't gotten to meet him yet, but he already knew everything about him when we decided to bring him on as our DC.
I really hope you guys enjoyed the interview. Let me know what you guys thought about that and about the video in general. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you did, please smash the like button, subscribe if you guys are new, turn on those post notifications, and give me some video suggestions down below in the comments. And yeah, check down all my descriptions, and peace